Well, hello, 11 a.m. Let me just give the title. Uh, Mending Bridges, Healing Wounds. I was supposed to be doing a video with my friend Steve today. However, he asked that it be postponed until tomorrow. I did get to talk with my friend Mel V earlier though. I was pleasantly surprised as I got to hear more of the story about SwissIndo. She's among the number that realized that this was a scam that many well-meaning people were sucked into back then. Some of our former friends are still there, now with titles HM along with their names. That means Her Majesty or His Majesty, in case you didn't know. In a sense, we are all royalty, though we do not need titles. Only the cabal makes titles important, which is how they suck people into such movements. For me, this is a time to mend bridges and heal wounds from the past. It is my prayer that most of humanity will have that opportunity in the very near future. I hope God knows we cannot survive much more of the insanity perpetrated by the cabal generation after generation, going back thousands of years, getting worse in our lifetime. And unlike some of the spiritual movements based on ignoring the issues and simply loving ourselves, I am still persuaded that ignorance, ignoring, never changes anything. Yes, I was not planning on doing a video today by myself, so I had to go back in after I talked with Mel V and got the message from Steve. I had to go back in and figure out, so what am I going to talk about? Because I thought, again, it was going to be a conversation, and I wasn't even thinking in terms of a topic. But that changed, of course, with the new information that I had. And then, after I had actually written the blurb, I opened some of my emails, and I had an email from one of my friends, local friends, who has become involved in this spiritual movement, which I call the movement toward ignorance, the movement toward ignoring the world because it's, after all, it's just an illusion. And we don't have to pay attention to the illusion. All we have to do is focus on loving ourselves, and then the illusion disappears. Yeah, right. If you believe that, I have I have all sorts of gimmicks to try to sell you. No, I don't really. But you're buying something that's, to me, absolutely ridiculous. It's never worked, and I don't believe it ever will work, to just simply ignore the problem and it goes away. In fact, you ignore the problem, it gets worse and worse until you stop ignoring the problem. Now, if it's not happening to you, that you have things going on in your world, like Mel V explained some of the things that were happening in her life, which of course I'm not going to go into, but she was facing many challenges and under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, and she was being told how to do certain things when she was part of the SwissIndo team, and she wasn't comfortable, but it was given her hope that she could maybe change some of the situations in her own life. You know, I was unaware of some of these things, and so I was really happy to have the conversation with her, although I resisted it going in because I was still in the mindset of she doesn't like me making videos about SwissIndo. She's mad at me because Mr. Sugi, Mr. Sino, had his first public online interview with me and not with her. I thought that was all the issue, but there was a whole lot more going on that I didn't know about. And I'm pretty certain many of my friends who have left SwissIndo didn't know about it, and I'm disappointed that some of my friends that were part of SwissIndo are still there and have bought into the what I believe now is a cabal lie. But I want in my life to heal wounds. But I'm not going to heal wounds by ignoring the illusory things, so-called illusion things, that have contributed to the experience of my human life. I'm not going to go into denial of being human. I'm not going to do that. I mean, I am the culmination of all that I've experienced, of what I've believed to be true, what I've rejected as false, and I've rejected a lot of things as false, a lot of religious precepts. Certainly, I've rejected the whole idea of the cabal as being a false foundation upon which they have built the political and financial structure of the world. That has to be brought down, or we will not only never have peace on earth, we won't have human habitation on earth, because we will not survive. These people, these beings, because I don't believe they're just people. I believe they're demons. I believe they're very sick extraterrestrials, or whatever you want to call them, but they are not honest. They are not loving. They are not intelligent, although they are brilliant. They are not intelligent, because they will end up, if they keep going the way that they've been going, they will end up destroying the very planet that sustains them, and preventing that sustenance from continuing. I mean, it's totally sick, totally insane. But ignoring it is not a spiritual solution. It is an escape mechanism. And that's what a lot of New Age, New Thought spirituality is about. It's about escaping reality. It's about denying reality. We need to heal, but we need to take responsibility for the illusion, if you want to call it that we have created and have been experiencing together. And just because bad stuff isn't happening to you, well, it's not happening to you maybe because you're no threat to the status quo. You're not looking to bring change to the status quo. So why should they worry about you? You're not in their way. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I wish I hadn't opened that email. I wish that was not part of this discussion, because I really, truly did enjoy my conversation with Mel V. And I'm thankful to my friend Eilish for being pretty insistent that I talk with her, because things were not what I thought they were. They were not what I was under the impression of. Very, very different. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for having had that opportunity, because it does mend a bridge that I didn't think I would ever cross over again. And it healed a wound in me that needed to be healed. But we all need to be willing to build bridges. We all need to be willing to acknowledge our wounds, first and foremost, or they'll never be healed. We need to acknowledge that we have been wounded. I have been wounded, and I've been wounded by friends in my own community, my own local community that I've loved and worked with and spent literally days and hours and hours and hours of my life supporting and working with. And to feel abandoned by these, it hurts. I want to say it hurts. And I hope that something happens in the very near future that will turn everything around. I hope that God will begin to take responsibility for the mess that has been made in this world, and bring in the energies and forces, or whatever is necessary, to uplift, not to push us down, not to make things worse, but to literally turn things around and make things better, as Saint Germain and others have said is the goal and the vision for our future, which I hope again is soon. Thank you for listening, and thank you for bearing with me, and as always, namaste.